The stadium fell silent. 40,000 hearts stopped beating for just a moment. The scoreboard read 4-6, 6-4, 5-0. And on the baseline, a young woman from Quezon City bounced the ball once, twice, 3 times. Her hands were steady, but her heart was racing. Just 24 hours earlier, she had walked off this same court in defeat. Her first set lost, rain pouring from the heavens, her dreams hanging by a thread. She had retreated to her locker room, not knowing if the storm would ever pass. But she never stopped believing. Now, under the bright Washington sun, she stood 1 point away from immortality. The ball left her racket, sailed over the net, and landed with a thud that echoed through history. Alexandra Eala had done it. She had conquered the world number 3. She had avenged her greatest defeat. She had made 110 million Filipinos explode with pride. But how did this 21-year-old turn a heartbreaking rain delay into the greatest victory in Philippine tennis history? And why did she collapse to the court in tears before even shaking her opponent's hand? This is the story of a nation's dream realized. Manila, Philippines, May 23, 2005. The day Alexandra Eala was born into a family of dreamers. Her parents, Mike and Riza, had no idea that their daughter would one day carry the hopes of 110 million people on her slender shoulders. Tennis was not the sport of the masses in the Philippines. Basketball was king. Boxing was the heartbeat of the nation. Tennis was a sport of the elite, played in exclusive clubs that most Filipinos could only dream of entering. But Alex was different. From the age of 4, when she first picked up a racket, she showed a determination that defied her small frame. She was quiet, disciplined, and fiercely competitive. Her family recognized the spark, and they made the ultimate sacrifice. They moved to Spain, leaving behind their home, their friends, and everything familiar, so that Alex could train at the prestigious Rafa Nadal Academy. She was just 13 years old when she arrived in Mallorca. The culture shock was overwhelming. The food was different, the language was foreign, and the competition was brutal. But Alex adapted. She woke up before dawn for fitness training, spent hours perfecting her strokes, and studied late into the night to keep up with her academics. Her coaches noticed something special, not just her talent, but her mindset. She was unflappable, calm under pressure, and always hungry to improve. Rafael Nadal himself, the legendary 22-time Grand Slam champion, would eventually take notice. When she finally got the chance to train with him, it was a forever moment she would never forget. "It's something people and young kids can only dream about," she said. But the dream was just beginning. In 2025, she burst onto the global stage with a stunning semifinal run at the Miami Open, defeating 3 Grand Slam champions, Elina Svitolina, Madison Keys, and Iga Swiatek, before falling to Jessica Pegula. That defeat haunted her. It was a scar that never fully healed, and it set the stage for the most epic revenge story in tennis history. Miami, Florida, March 2025. The Hard Rock Stadium was electric. Alex Eala, then just 19 years old and ranked 140th in the world, was the lowest-ranked semifinalist in Miami Open history. She had already shocked the tennis world by defeating world number 2 Iga Swiatek in the quarterfinals, a victory so stunning that even Swiatek's coach looked on in disbelief. But standing across the net from her was Jessica Pegula, the world number 4 and a player who had been on an absolute tear. The match was a brutal 2-hour and 24-minute war. Eala fought with every ounce of her being. She even turned her ankle mid-match, but she refused to quit. "I literally gave everything I had," she said afterward. "I'm half tape. I'm like a mummy. I did everything, and I have no regrets." She pushed Pegula to the limit, forcing a deciding set. But in the end, the Americans' experience proved too much. Pegula won 7-6, 5-7, 6-3. Eala walked off the court in tears. She had come so close, only to fall short. But as she reflected on the loss, she made a vow to herself. "Of course, there is disappointment right after the match," she admitted. "But there are just so many times in tennis where you have to dig through the dirt to look for the positive." She promised herself that she would get her revenge. That moment would define her. For 18 months, She carried that defeat in her heart, using it as fuel to train harder, to improve her game, and to grow stronger. And when she walked onto the court at the DC Open, she knew she was facing her destiny. Washington, D.C., August 2026. The William H.G. Fitzgerald Tennis Center was packed to the rafters. Philippine flags dotted the stands, and chants of Eala routinely drowned out the cheers for the American. This was the final of the Mubadala DC Open, a WTA 500 event, and Alex Eala was facing her nemesis once again. But this time, she was a different player. She had matured. She had won titles. She had beaten top 10 players like Leylah Fernandez, Elina Svitolina, and Naomi Osaka just to get to this final. The atmosphere was electric, but the tennis gods had other plans. The match started, and Pegula won the first set 6-4. Eala was trailing, and the pressure was mounting. But Eala wasn't finished. She had just broken Pegula's serve to take a 2-1 lead in the second set when the skies opened up. Heavy rain and lightning forced the players off the court. The final was suspended. Eala retreated to the locker room, her heart pounding with uncertainty. The wait was agonizing. Minutes turned into hours. Hours turned into a full night's delay. But Eala remained calm. She later revealed that before the final, she had received so many sweet messages from her family and friends that she felt overwhelmed with love. I thought to myself, I feel so much love, standing here in the middle of all this love, my first chance at the title. Knowing it won't be my last, I knew that whatever would have happened after this match, it would have already been a win for me. That mental shift was the key. She was no longer playing for herself. She was playing for her family, her friends, her coaches, and her entire nation. Monday, August 3rd, 2026. Play resumed at midday, and from the very first point, it was clear that a different Alex Eala had emerged. The 21-year-old was relentless. Her ground strokes were on fire. Her serve was unbreakable. She was dictating play, moving Pegula side to side, and unleashing winners that left the American helpless. The momentum had completely shifted. Pegula, visibly frustrated, had no answers for Eala's clinical aggression. Eala won the second set 6-4. But the third set was something else entirely. It was not a contest. It was a demolition. Eala won game after game, breaking Pegula's serve with ruthless precision. The crowd erupted with every point. Philippine flags waved furiously. The chant of Eala grew deafening. And when the final ball hit the court, the scoreboard read 6-0. A bagel. A perfect set. Against the world number 3. Eala had won 10 of the 13 games played after the rain delay. Eala sank to her knees in disbelief. Tears streamed down her face. She made a video call to her family, sharing the moment with them in a raw, emotional display of love and gratitude. She had done it. She had avenged her Miami defeat. She had won her first WTA Tour title, and she had become the first player from the Philippines to ever win a WTA or ATP Tour singles championship. The tennis world was stunned. The Philippines was in a state of euphoria. But for Eala, it wasn't just about the trophy. Standing here in the middle of all this love, my first chance at the title, knowing it won't be my last, I knew that whatever would have happened after this match, it would have already been a win for me. Manila, Philippines, the celebration was immediate and overwhelming. It was 1 a.m. in Manila when Eala secured the victory, but millions of Filipinos were glued to their screens, tears streaming down their faces. In a resto pub in Pasig City, a group of fans erupted in cheers and applause. Tensonado kami kahapon pa nagpausikasin at sut, kaya sabi ko ay makakapagpahinga si Alex. Nabat niya ang MGA Olympians. Kaya all the way support K. Alex, said Robin Menezes, one of the attendees. Social media exploded. The hashtag Alex Eala trended globally. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. issued a personal congratulations, praising Eala's achievement. You continue to redefine what is possible for Philippine tennis and inspire countless young Filipinos to dream without limits, he said. Kasama mo ang sambinang Filipino sa pagdirawang ng panibagong tagumpay na ito, he added. Mabuhay ka, Alex. Rafael Nadal himself joined the chorus, celebrating his Academy star with a heartfelt message. A well-deserved trophy for all the hard work, he said. Fellow Filipino athlete EJ Obaina, the world-class pole vaulter, also applauded the sensational result. Sobrang nakakaproud na nakikita namin na ang nagdo-dominate ang mga Pilipino lalo na sa sports at lalo na sa ibang bansa pa, said lawyer Gwyneth Matubis, who had just come from overtime work and was watching with friends. The victory was more than just a sporting triumph. It was a moment of unity for a nation often divided by social and political challenges. In the words of one fan, one of the positive things that is happening right now as a country natin, kahit maraming nangyari. Happy ang lahat no de mga Pinoy. Alex Eala had not just won a tennis match. She had given her people a reason to believe again. Her ranking soared to a career-high world number 20. Her journey was far from over. The Canadian Open in Toronto awaited, followed by the US Open. But for now, she allowed herself to bask in the glory of a moment that would be etched in Philippine history forever. From the streets of Quezon City to the grandest stadiums of the world, from the clay of Mallorca to the hard courts of Washington, Alex Eala proved that champions aren't born. They are forged in the fires of sacrifice, tears, and unwavering belief. She walked into the storm as she walked out a legend. Her story is only just beginning.